1. A horse called Silver Blaze. "I must go down there, Watson. I must," said Sherlock Holmes at the breakfast table on Thursday morning. "Go? Go where?" I asked. "To Dartmoor, to King's Pyland." "Ah, so that's it," I said. "Well, everybody in the country is talking about the case at King's Pyland." I always know when Holmes is interested in a case. He reads all the newspapers. He walks up and down the room, and does not speak for hours. He did all those things yesterday. He did not answer any of my questions, but I knew that it was the mystery at King's Pyland. The morning newspapers were on the breakfast table. "What is happening at King's Pyland? Where is Silver Blaze?" they asked. "Who killed John Straker? What are the police doing? Can they find the horse before the big race next week?" Silver Blaze was a famous racehorse, and John Straker was his trainer. One of the biggest horse races of the year, the Wessex Cup, was next week, and Silver Blaze was the favourite to win. But on Monday night at King's Pyland, two things happened. Someone killed John Straker, and Silver Blaze disappeared. I was interested in this case too. "Do you need my help, Holmes?" I asked. "I would very much like to come with you." "My dear Watson," said Holmes, "of course you must come with me. We can catch the 12 o'clock from Paddington and talk about the case on the train." 2 hours later, we were on the train to Tavistock. We read all the midday newspapers, but there was nothing new in them. "So, Watson, what do you think about this case?" "Well, the newspapers say—" "Ah, yes. The newspapers understand nothing. One day they say one thing, the next day they say another. But we must look at the case more carefully. What did happen on Monday night at King's Pyland? And what did not happen? That's an important question too. Do the police have any answers?" I asked. "No," said Holmes. "On Wednesday morning I had 2 letters. One was from Mr. Ross, the owner of the horse, and the other was from the Dartmoor police, and Inspector Gregory. They ask for my help." "Wednesday morning?" I cried. "But this is Thursday morning. Why didn't you go down yesterday?" "Because it was an easy case. You can't hide a famous horse for long, I thought." "Where can you hide a horse on Dartmoor? There are no buildings, no trees." But I was wrong, Watson. The case is now 2 days old, and nobody can find the horse, or Straker's killer. So, here we are. on the train to Tavistock. "And what do you think about it all?" I said. "Well, Watson, let's look at the case. First, we have a racehorse, Silver Blaze, only 5 years old, but already a winner in many big races. His owner, Mr. Ross, is a happy man and rich. The racegoers are happy too. Silver Blaze nearly always wins his races, and so people put big bets on him to win. And when the favourite wins the race, a lot of people make money on their bets. But what happens when the favourite doesn't win, Watson? What then?" "A lot of people lose their money, of course," I said. "And people with big bets on a different horse can make much more money when that other horse wins." "Right, Watson. So, perhaps some people are very interested in Silver Blaze not running in the Wessex Cup. Of course, Mr. Ross and his trainer, John Straker, know that, and they watch the horse very carefully. Now, let's look at the people and the place. The trainer, John Straker, a good man and wonderful with horses, worked for Mr. Ross for 12 years. There are 4 horses in the training stables and 3 boys working for Straker. One of them sits up all night with the horses, and the other 2 sleep in a room over the stables. We know nothing bad about any of the boys. Straker has a wife, no children, and lived, in a house about 200 metres from the stables. The town of Tavistock is 2 kilometres to the west, and about 2 kilometres to the east there is Capleton, another training stables. The owner there is Lord Backwater, and the trainer is Silas Brown. There are no other houses, just the hills of Dartmoor." I listened carefully. I wanted to remember it all, because Holmes does not like to say anything twice. "Now," he said, "what happened on Monday night?" "These papers came with Inspector Gregory's letter." "The best thing is for you to read them, Watson. Then tell me what you think." I took the papers from him and began to read. Chapter 2. Monday night at King's Pyland. Notes by Inspector Gregory, after talking to Edith Baxter, Ned Hunter, Mrs. John Straker, and Mr. Fitzroy Simpson. On Monday evening, Straker locked the stables at 9 o'clock, the usual time. 2 of the boys then walked up to the trainer's house for their dinner. But the third boy, Ned Hunter, stayed in the stables to watch the horses. At 9:05, the Straker servant, a girl called Edith Baxter, carried Ned Hunter's dinner down to the stables. The dinner that night was a hot meat curry. Edith was nearly at the stables when a man called out to her. He came up to her, and she saw a tall man in a grey suit and a hat, and a red and black scarf. He carried a big walking stick, and Edith felt afraid of him. "Where am I?" the man asked. "What is this place?" "This is King's Pyland training stables," she said. "Good," said the man. "Now, a stable boy sleeps here every night. Is that right? And I think you're taking his dinner to him now." He took an envelope out of his pocket. "Please, give the boy this, and you can have some money for a beautiful new dress." Edith did not take the envelope. She ran past the man to the stables and up to a small open window. She always put the boy's dinner through this window, and Ned Hunter was there, ready to take it. "Oh, Ned!" Edith cried. But before she could say any more, the stranger came up behind her. "Good evening," he said through the window to the boy. "I want to talk to you." "Who are you? What do you want?" Ned Hunter said. "I want to make you rich, boy," the stranger said. "You help me, and I help you. You have 2 horses in for the Wessex Cup, Silver Blaze and Bayard. I hear that Bayard is the better horse, and that you stable boys are putting your bets on him to win. Am I right?" "I'm not saying anything," cried Ned Hunter. "We don't talk about our horses at King's Pyland, so get out. I'm getting the dog now." Ned ran across the stables to get the dog, and Edith began to run back to the house. But she looked back after about 30 meters and saw the man at the little window with his head and one arm inside the room. Edith ran on, and a minute later Ned came out of the building and locked the door behind him. He ran all round the stables with the dog, but the man was gone. Ned Hunter told the trainer and the other boys about the stranger, but no one saw him again. The next thing happened at 1 o'clock in the morning, when John Straker got out of bed. "What's the matter?" said his wife. "Where are you going?" "To the stables," Straker said. "I can't stop thinking about that stranger. I just want to have a look around." "But it's raining. Wait until the rain stops," she said. "No, no," Straker said. "I want to go now." He left the house, and Mrs. Straker went back to sleep. At 7 in the morning, she woke up, but her husband was not there. She quickly got up, called the servant, Edith, and they ran down to the stables. They found the stables unlocked. Straker was not there, and inside, on a chair, Ned Hunter slept like a dead man. Silver Blaze was gone, and his stable door was open. They called the other 2 boys from the room over the stables. They were good sleepers and heard nothing in the night. Nobody could wake Ned Hunter, so the 2 women and the boys ran out to look for the trainer and the horse. 500 meters from the stables, they saw Straker's coat on a small tree. Down the hill, just past the tree, they found the trainer. He was dead. There was a long cut in his leg, and his head was broken in 3 places. In his right hand, he had a small knife with blood all over it, and in his left hand, he had a red and black scarf. Edith Baxter knew the scarf at once, and later, so did Ned Hunter. "It's the stranger's scarf," he told us. "When I went to get the dog, that stranger was still at the stable window. He put something in my meat curry to make me sleep. I know he did. Edith saw him with his arm through the window." Ned Hunter was right about his meat curry. There was some of his dinner left, and we found a lot of opium in it. That's why Ned slept like a dead man. What about the horse? We found his tracks in the mud, next to Straker's dead body. But what happened then? Someone hit Straker on the head and killed him. Did that person take the horse away? Did the horse run away? Everybody on Dartmoor is looking for Silver Blaze, but there is no news of him. When I began work on the case on Tuesday, we looked for the stranger. He was in Tavistock, and we found him easily. His name is Fitzroy Simpson. He lives mostly in London and makes his money at the races, taking bets. We looked in his betting book and found a number of big bets. £5,000 against the favourite for the Wessex Cup. These were his answers to my questions. Why did you come down to Dartmoor? I'm a betting man, Inspector. I need to know about the horses for the Wessex Cup. Silver Blaze, Bayard, and Desborough, the horse at Silas Brown's stables. He's the second favourite for the race, you see. Did you go to the King's Pyland stables late on Monday evening? Yes, I did. I just wanted to ask the stable boys some questions. They know the horses better than anyone. And is this your scarf? Yes. Yes, it is. And how did it get into the dead man's hand, Mr. Simpson? Can you tell us that?" "I don't know, Inspector. I don't know. I never saw the man. I lost my scarf in the dark. It wasn't me, Inspector. It wasn't me." We asked many more questions, but Fitzroy Simpson did not change his story. He was out at King's Pyland that night. His suit was still wet from the rain, and his big walking stick could break a man's head open. But there were no cuts on his body. So where did the blood on Straker's knife come from? And where is the horse?